So what's happening in the Chandler real estate market, it's not normal, but it's happening. So let's talk about it, particularly if you're planning on buying or selling your home here in the next upcoming year. And if you're new to my channel, I'm Courtney Stralzik. I'm a realtor from Real Broker here in Chandler, and I provide up-to-date information on what's going in the Chandler real estate market. And I really try to keep it from a practical standpoint. My goal is not to bore you. So if you have any questions about your current home or maybe your future home, here is my contact information. Feel free to reach out. So currently in the month of March, we are seeing very similar trends to what we saw last month here in Chandler. We're actually seeing the market kind of chill out and become more in favor for home buyers. And we can see this, it's pretty obvious when we look at the balance of supply and demand, and we have what we call the Cromford Market Index that actually takes this into account. And we actually saw that this number dropped 5 points in the past week. Now, this is definitely a slower pace of dropping than what we saw in February. It's definitely not dropping as quickly, but it's still going in the direction where home buyers are kind of grabbing or gaining the upper hand when purchasing a home. And technically speaking, we are a seller's market. That's anything that's above 110, but it's a really baby seller's market. Okay, so we know the market's softening. It's becoming more in favor for home buyers, but since it's still technically a seller's market, does that mean that sellers still have the upper hand? What it really comes down to, what type of home it is and how much interest is in that specific type of home. So for example, my client went home shopping, found a perfect home, but there was also 3 other homes that were very, very similar in that same neighborhood. So when we started negotiating, the sellers provided a counter offer. And in this situation, my client had a little bit more of the negotiating power because he knew he could step away and pursue one of the other homes if he couldn't get the correct terms on this home. And he was okay with going and looking at one of these other homes and possibly submitting an offer. Because you have to think about negotiating 101. The person that is able to walk away is the one that's always going to hold the upper hand. But on the flip side, let's say that someone's listing their home and they're putting it slightly under market value. Let's say it's really worth $550, but they're listing it at $525. Well, if they get multiple offers, that home buyer isn't going to have as much of the negotiating power where the seller is. If they don't get terms with one person, they can always move to the next person and try to get those terms. Now, these homes that are selling very quickly or receiving multiple offers, these homes are often homes that are truly move-in ready, super clean, priced really well, even under market value. When you're negotiating for a home, it's really important to talk to your agent about really how much negotiating power you have and what your risks are. Now, something to take note of is even though the market is softening, it's becoming more in favor of buyers, it doesn't mean that home prices are necessarily going down. Actually, since the beginning of January, we've seen home prices stay pretty flat across the board. Good news if you're trying to sell your home is we actually are seeing homes still sell pretty quickly. The median days on market, this is the number of days from when you first list your home to when it goes under contract, we're still seeing that about 20-25 days. Now keep in mind that's the median. This number is going to vary somewhat. Generally across the board, we are seeing condos take longer to sell. And then the south part of Chandler, particularly below the 202, those homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, but above the 202, the more north part of Chandler, those homes are a little bit shorter, a little bit quicker. Now, the other things that are going to greatly impact how long it's going to take for your home to sell, marketing, of course, is going to be really important. We're seeing a lot more inventory right now, so it's important to make sure that your home is standing out. Cleanliness and condition of the home is also going to be very, very important. We're seeing a lot of homes that need updates and renovations. They're sitting for a long period of time. It's not 2020 anymore. Those homes, it's tough to sell them. But the most important thing, the most important factor is going to be pricing. Now, I know a lot of real estate agents are probably going to hate me for saying this, but it's the truth, so I'm going to say it anyway. Marketing is really, really important for your house. It's imperative to get the highest dollar amount for your home. But this is the thing. Fantastic marketing will not outrun bad pricing. Now, if you're considering buying a home anytime soon, you should probably know that we did see mortgage rates go down just a little bit. Now, this did lead to a slight uptick in mortgage applications, but the interesting thing about Chandler is we saw so much new inventory, many more homes for sale that hit the market, that it kind of canceled each other out, and that we're pretty flat right now. We're not seeing huge changes. And in the beginning of the video where I said, hey, this isn't normal, the market we're in right now, what I mean is the fact that we're flat. Typically this time of year, we actually see the market get more competitive. Usually the favor starts leaning more and more to the sellers, but we're not really seeing that. Even though it's a slight decrease towards buyers, overall, when we take a step back, it's just kind of staying flat and the same. Now, this could change in the next couple months. We don't know, but go ahead and subscribe and I'll keep you up to date.